Well, welcome everyone. This is actually my first show called new series called Interview with MVP. Maybe that's just a pending name and such. But then the gist of it is I'm going to talk to a bunch of my friends who are MVP or MVP caliber in terms of business successes, and and they definitely are my good friends. Otherwise they won't even agree to come to my show. But this is part of my 2021 something new to do, one of my newest projects, and the first episode of this series, I get my good friend to come talk to me. This guy, we have been in battles. We have actually go through different battles, not like civil war type of thing, of course not. But then in business battles, we've actually been helping each other out. Even though we are not 10,000, 2,000 miles apart. But because of this new era, this 2020 new era of doing everything in front of the camera on Zoom, we have been able to actually knocked out many things, and kill some business, do some business together, close many deals together, and this is the furthest thing you could have imagined, between this guy and that guy would have this close collaboration with each other. But here it is my my third. I've successfully become the third twin of his family, and honestly, this guy has been doing tremendous in business. I really respect this guy, and he's awesome. He's great. We are fighting this battle together, and please welcome my good friend, my good business partner, Borbi Bropleh. And then just imagine,
thank you.
Right?
Thank you, Rick. It's my pleasure to be here and to be in to partake in the inaugural filming of your video series. It's a pleasure, Rick. Thank you for inviting me.
And honestly, with everyone who wouldn't know, I mean, I just thought of this new idea like maybe Sunday night or yesterday morning after our call.
Okay.
And I felt before I've been too technical. I've been thinking about too much and doing very little. But nowadays I just have to get on this this action mode, right? Think of something, just execute, get on,
make it happen.
And this guy, honestly, that's why I say I'm the third twin, because his brother, Dior, we are good friends as well, and very close with me, and we share videos a lot of times nowadays. But this guy, he is so good to me in a sense that, hey, bro, I got something. I have a favor. I need your help. I want to talk about this, and I think you will be a great interviewee. And this guy just picked up the phone and said, "What do you want?" Okay, fine. Let's do it tomorrow. I'm like, great. This is how it all started, how it all happened. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that you have great time management skill. You keep to your schedule. You do a lot. You accomplish a lot. You accomplish what you did in November, December. December was still great, but November was magnificent. Let's put it that way, right? Your November was magnificent last year. That you did something that probably someone did over a year, 18 months, wouldn't be able to do. You did it in 1 month, right? And then, and I think part of it is the fact that you're very good with time management. And using your time wisely, and the fact that you leave enough room in your schedule that when this Rick guy calls me, I'm going to answer his call. I'm going to see where I can fit him in, type of thing. So I think that plays a part in it. So can you share with people, your people too, eventually, who will be watching this, what is time management? What does it mean to you?
Well, thank you for that question, Rick. Time management, you have to go back to the meaning of what is time, Rick? Time is the progression of events, as they move along, and management is control. I've forgotten where I heard that, but a wise person. It may have been our mentor that mentioned it at one point. I pick up a lot of things from him. So time is the progression of events, management is control. So time management is just simply controlling the things that happen in your life, right? If you don't have control, and how do you control the events that happen in your life? It's just creating a schedule and sticking to it, right? Like you mentioned earlier, I worked in corporate America for many years, and it was always the company that scheduled your time, more or less, right? Outside of work was my time. That time wasn't scheduled too well, to be honest with you. When I'm at work, my tasks are laid out and scheduled, right? Right from the time I'm supposed to show up, complete all my projects and tasks, and then I leave. Even my vacation was scheduled. Now that I'm in business for myself, I had to quickly realize, Rick, that I don't have the corporate structure to plan out my time. I had to do it myself. And once I did that, I realized that results were very quick, right? My efforts were, very effective, right? So that's what I see time management to be. And we've had this discussion before. I told you that I don't even tell people that I'm too busy anymore, because the assumption is nobody else is working as hard as I'm working. I'm so busy. I don't tell people I have a lot going on. Those are phrases that you hear quite a bit these days. Oh, I had so much going on, Rick. That's why we couldn't make our meeting that you and I both scheduled. Come on, just say you forgot, and why did you forget? Well, maybe because you didn't have a schedule that you religiously stick to. So that becomes a problem in business, because time is money, right? Time is actually the most valuable asset, is what I mean. So time management is critical to everything. You mentioned what a phenomenal November my organization had. That was all due to time management, but it didn't start in November. It started in February and March when the pandemic happened, and we, our entire business had to move 100% more or less to an online portal or platform. That focused me more than I've ever been focused in business, because here I am sitting at home. My wife, she works at home as well, so she's in another room. I'm in this room, and all I had to do was to sit here and focus on work. I had nothing else to do. I had nowhere else to go. So,
other than picking up your sons and sometimes that's
well, that initially that was not the case. We were all at home. They homeschooled, yeah. And so I say that to say, that's when I begin to look at this thing and wait a minute. If I structure my time, because I have all this time now, but I still need to structure it. Otherwise, you wander off and start doing other things, watching TV, jumping on the internet, and what have you. So I decided to structure my time better, and the results were phenomenal. November was phenomenal. December was not as good as November, but I can tell you it was the best December I've ever had in business. Okay, it happened just like that.
And I think your not so good December is still much better than most people's January to November of other people, right? So I think this is what we have accomplished, at least in 2020, in my mind, is the fact that we raised our standard. We did.
Yeah.
Both you and I, right?
Definitely,
right?
definitely.
So I mean, we used to be doing like a quarter of what we're doing, and we still were pretty good. But now we're like, oh, that is like should be what we'd be doing in a month or half.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the biggest thing that we got.
There's been a paradigm shift, yeah.
But then for me at least is we know what we are capable of. At least we cut out all the commute time, right? I mean, you don't need to drive to the office that far away anymore, and your office is like bedroom to your room full of books behind you, right? So
home office. Well, this is just its own background screen.
Anyway, and I think
I had these many books.
And I think it was a great discussion in that.
Yeah.
But I think that also led to my second question. Is the fact that you and I, you used to work for a major bank in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
I used to work for a major insurance company in the U.S.
Okay.
And both of us, decided to, be our own boss and manage our own time, right? I mean, that's the biggest freedom. You talk about, other people's scheduling and doing what you need to do, even like vacation, right? You have to ask another human being for time off to take vacation, right?
Yes, never again.
Never again, of course. Let's talk about you. Why you actually decided to make that jump to, this is scary. Like you and I, we're both immigrants too into this country.
It's a scary move. It's a scary move for sure. I was raised to, I'm originally from Monrovia, Liberia in West Africa. You're from the other side of the world,
Western Canada.
Oh, Western Canada. Okay. All right. Good. Well, I was raised to go to school, get a job, preferably with a major corporation, and work hard for 40 years. And hopefully at the end of that, I would have some type of pension plan or something else, Social Security to rely on to take care of me for the rest of my life. So that was the plan, right? And of course, everybody in my family follows that same mantra, more or less. Culturally, that's how we were raised. However, I quickly realized after immigrating to the U.S. That I went to school, got a degree, I'm working a job, but I quickly realized that something wasn't quite right. Okay, this was not very fulfilling to me, for me. I didn't see, when I looked at people who were 20 years my seniors, just realizing that is where I would end up, didn't sit too well with me. I almost thought that this was a waste of time. I'm working hard for this corporation, but what am I gonna get at the end of all of this? There's the stress.
If you are lucky enough that during the 20-year time frame you don't get laid off, and that guy you are trying to replace happens to retire in 20 years time.
Yeah, you get laid off, you could get fired, external things, personal things that happen in your life can affect what happens at the job. So there's this control over every aspect of your life, especially your time. And your time is your most valuable asset. So it was very frustrating to me, Rick, to wake up in the morning and have to go to work, or to not be able to go to my son's soccer practice or band rehearsals, not be able to go to certain family events, anything that pretty much had happened during the day, I was completely cut off from. And that was very frustrating. After a few years, I had to make a tough decision. It got very agonizing going to work every day. Now I know everybody, some people love their jobs, right? Some people love what they do, even if it's not a high income, profession. Yeah, many people like what they do, but I think probably most people don't like what they do right now or where they are. Maybe you feel like you deserve a little more. You deserve a little bit more freedom, a little bit more money. You deserve to progress a little faster. In certain situations, your progress is based on somebody else. So that was one of the things that attracted me to business. Wait a minute, you're telling me if I do this, and this, then I decide how fast I want to move up. That was pretty appealing to me. So, but back to your question, making the transition was tough. Luckily, this company that we work with allowed you to start part-time. Okay, I think that was the single biggest reason that I may have decided to come on board, is because we're allowed to start part-time. And so I took it. I picked up a license and the referral program, you know how it works. You can make referrals and you get paid. I thought that was pretty good, and I wanted to learn more about personal finance. So this was a perfect marriage. But that transition from working guy to full-time business guy, I would say it happened just based on me attending some big events, where I listened to some great mentors in business, in finance, just tell their story. And it was very inspiring to me. And I thought that, if this guy can do it, I think I can do it as well. Even if I did half of what this guy is doing, I would still be in a better position than I'm in right now. So that was my thought process. And I took it and ran, and I made some big decisions, let's just say. And one of those decisions was to burn my ship, as they say. One day I just decided, look, I'm done with this, especially after I worked with this company for over 10 years and I had an opportunity to reflect on my previous decade and what I had achieved. I knew it was time to start looking around, and within 2 years I was out of there, and I was doing my own thing. It was so relieving to be able to do that, and here I am today. I made it, and I became the MVP of our team, and that was just a result of never giving up. Just persistence. Nothing magical, nothing special, no special skills, nothing. Just never giving up, learning as I go, and practicing what I learned. Establishing great connections like you, Rick. You explained earlier how we constantly help each other out. I always take your calls, you always take mine. We collaborate, right? And it's a healthy competition, right? And I love it. I love competition, healthy competition. I love positive criticism, which you don't hesitate to give me, and I also give you as well. So those are the kind of healthy relationships.
Suggestions.
Oh, suggestions.
No. Two things that came out of what you just said. One, I think, that transition that you just mentioned about going to big event, sometime that, and then you heard something and then you make that decision. I think we should make that into one podcast. I think even that, just going from casually, oh, let's try it out, to fully committed, let's do it, let's go for it. I think this, you can talk for half an hour. So let's save it for next episode, whenever that may be. So let's say for that. The second thing that you just mentioned about you not being special, well, that's being humble. I mean, if I ask your wife, beautiful wife, Khalifa, and I definitely think she would say you're special. If I ask Brendan, probably they'll say, oh, yeah, whatever. But if I ask your wife, she'll definitely say you're special. I think you're very, very special. But in order in the general sense of what you said about not doing something magical, actually I think what you have done, even the simple things, getting to know your people, getting to ask questions, asking intelligent questions, asking open-ended questions, not yes no answer type of question, all that kind of stuff, right? We talk about that all the time, and the best thing of what you have done is you practice daily. You probably practice 5 times, 6 times, 8 times a day, and you do it daily, right? We don't take Sunday off. Usually our Saturday, Sundays are the busiest time. We probably take a Wednesday off, maybe, I don't know. But you see what I'm saying? And
whenever things are not busy, that's my day off.
So I think that's what I'm trying to tell others in here, is the fact that you're doing simple things that you practice daily, and you do it consistently. You do it so much that it becomes second nature. That's magic. That's what makes it magical, I think, right? And that's one of the best things that I know of you, is the fact that you don't just learn things and then just put it in the notebook, that's it. You actually learn it, apply it, and then apply it consistently. That's how you make it magical for you, right? So
yeah. And
I hope that
describe
your habit, like, in that sense.
It absolutely does, and I must say I've read a lot of good books. A good example is Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, where they talk about constant practice, 10,000 hours of doing something over and over, and you become a genius, you become the expert. Books like Think and Grow Rich, how to make friends and influence people. Those are the kind of books that kind of molded me over the last couple of years to become what I am today. From being that, taking business maybe casually or passively, and to a very intense focus, because I have a goal. There's this level I'm trying to get to, and that's what I'm striving towards, right? Once you have a goal and you strive towards it, it's very easy to stay committed and stick to it. We attended the 4-hour goal setting session by Jeff Levitan last week, and I've attended those sessions before a few times, I must admit, but it still helps you to focus. It still hits you. It still helps you to focus. That planning is the key to everything. You have to plan out your day, plan out your month, plan out your year, plan out 5 years down the road, 10 years, 20 years, plan out your whole life. Then everything makes sense. So those are the kind of quality associations that I think have molded me into being what I am today. And I still have room to grow.
And you talked about time being your most valuable asset, and it is most valuable for you and me because we have the same amount, and it's limited amount. So that's why it is very, very valuable.
Everybody has the same amount of time, yeah.
Right. And you mentioned Malcolm's book. I read it many years ago now. I'm so glad too, in a way that we just don't go off tangent and talk about I read like random books or whatever. The same core principle books, we keep the same ones, right? And then Malcolm, I remember very vividly because he's half Canadian, half Jamaican, I think, and hockey. In that book, if you remember, he talks about hockey extensively.
Definitely,
and then growing, being taller, being bigger kid in the beginning, actually does help a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a born-in advantage, but the real advantage of you being a great hockey player like Wayne Gretzky, or the biggest in the world, is they shoot the puck like a lot of times. They would get on ice and they shoot the puck 10,000 times or 20,000 times. I don't know however many is. If you just try to shoot once or twice and you try to score the goal, well, of course, you may get lucky and you may get in. that's like the lottery mentality, right? But but in order to sustain and plan for your success, you have to, put in the work and dedicate and be consistent and going through it. I think this time, we just got so much into it, this one. I think I already thought about the topics for the next 2 episodes already. We originally had the MVP question, but I think, time is running out. So maybe we should wait for that next time.
Yeah, we can do it next time. Absolutely.
All right. No, this is awesome. I think, I don't envision it just to be a 3-part series. I think we can do many more. And and I really appreciate your time, Borbi. I know you're such a busy guy, and carving this time out for me and for your viewer for this one. And then we are going to have a tremendous success this year together as a team in business. All right.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right. Let's talk next time.
Thanks, Ray. Have a good day.
I hope you have enjoyed the video. Please follow me on social media, and I will see you next time.